Good morning, everyone. This is the hour in the open door where we do a lesson from the Course in Miracles based on the book Training Wheels that was written by our dear friend Amy Habel. And she can't be with us today, so I'm filling in for her with much love to all of you. So the way Amy usually starts is by reading through the first 40 some lessons. And I know that she often invites you to close your eyes or to turn off your screen, go to whatever you want to do. Oh, there's my friend Alice. I don't know. I'd like everybody to say hi to her.
Hi, Alice.
Hey, Alice.
Alice is in a
Hi.
Course in is in a local
everybody.
with me. Yes.
Thanks.
And I gave her Amy's book, so here she is. Okay, we're going to start by reading these lessons. Just close your eyes or just get in a comfortable position and let these words penetrate. Nothing I see means anything. I have given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. I do not understand anything I see. These thoughts do not mean anything. I am never upset for the reason I think. I am upset because I see something that is not there. I see only the past. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see nothing as it is now. My thoughts do not mean anything. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. I'm upset because I see a meaningless world. A meaningless world engenders fear. God did not create a meaningless world. My thoughts are images that I have made. I have no neutral thoughts, and I see no neutral things. And I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. So I am determined to see. I am determined to see things differently. What I see is a form of vengeance. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. I do not perceive my own best interests. I do not know what anything is for. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. Above all else, I want to see. Above all else, I want to see things differently. God is in everything I see. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. I am not a victim of the world I see. I've invented the world I see. There is another way of looking at the world. I could see peace instead of this. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. My holiness envelops everything I see. My holiness blesses the world. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. My holiness is my salvation. I am blessed as a son of God. God goes with me wherever I go. God is my strength. Vision is God's gift. And that's today's lesson. God is my strength. Vision is God's gift. And I love reading Amy's interpretation of these lessons in her words. And today she starts off with a quote from Marianne Williamson's book, A Return to Love. And that quote is this: "We are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God." This lesson describes a logical relationship of cause and effect. Source created us, and Source has given us all of itself. We are free to deny it. We are free to fear it. We are free to imagine that we can relinquish our strength and vision to something outside ourselves. But the truth is, we are all made of the same stuff as our Source. And I think this is where God is my strength comes in. I've come to realize that in this body mind, every bone, all of my bones, all the blood is all filled with divine being. The breaths that I take, divine being. The thoughts that I think, divine being. All of it. And today's practice is to allow the truth of these words to permeate your mind and your body. It's pretty amazing. It's about allowing the frequency of these words to vibrate through the whole field of your being so that even the cells of your body awaken to the truth of strength. All of a sudden, I'm reminded of a quote that I read in One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, and that was by Walt Whitman. And I liked it so much as he said, "I am better, larger than I thought I was. I did not know I held so much goodness." He became aware of how much goodness was in him. And this lesson is inviting us to do the same. And then the lesson goes beyond the strength that we carry with us. It talks about vision. And in Amy's words, she says the gift of vision is not precognition or clairvoyance. It's not that we all have ESP. It is right-mindedness, looking upon the world. Reading that, I'm reminded of what we read yesterday in chapter 21 about the forgotten song. That was so beautiful. It says, don't try to change the world, but will to change your mind about the world. Perception, everything looked upon with vision is healed and holy. So we're talking about a different kind of vision, not just the vision that come through these eyes, these physical eyes. I must ask myself, my true self, and accept a greater wisdom. True vision forgives all things, trusting they are part of a perfect flow of events in a perfect universe. This is, quote, loving what is. And it is not passive. It is active and intelligent. So vision is my gift. I'm being handed this gift to see beyond what the eyes see or what I previously perceived about the world. As the guides tell us, I can see things made new. But to me, made new is like fresh and sparkling and beautiful. Vision is my gift. Everything looked upon with divine vision is healed and holy, and we have access to that. All we have to do is accept the gift. So this lesson asks us to practice this several times a day, in the morning and before bedtime. Close your eyes, relax your body, and say, God is my strength. Vision is God's gift to me. And allow each word to sink in as deeply as possible. Feel the words resonate in your body. And then just allow thoughts to come in, any thoughts or feelings that support today's idea. You don't need to search. You need just let things come. Some suggestions where I am strong, I have everything I need, I am certain. Allow your mind free rein in these thoughts of strength and vision. She says, allow yourself to feel good about yourself. Wow. What an idea. If your mind wanders, just repeat the lesson. And if no thoughts come at all, simply watch the breath and repeat the lesson like a mantra. Do not stress. The more often you repeat the lesson in your mind, the more often you will be reminded of who you really are. And now if you'd like to come back to us and open your video so we can see you. I'm just reminded when we were doing the lesson yesterday, I kept thinking of something that happens in my family all the time, and that is my husband, when I or the girls, we have 3 daughters, would be complaining about something or moaning about something, he would always say, you need to sing a different song. And yesterday we had the Forgotten Song in the morning, and then the guides in the afternoon were telling us about they sing a song for us and they invite us to join in that song. And I just love that. There's something about a song that's different than words. And to me, that's what this vision is, God's gift. It's like understanding the truth and make a new vision based upon the new song. And so as I went through the day yesterday, all these things happened. I was given all these gifts. First, I got stuck in traffic. Then I lost my way to a doctor's appointment because they were in a different building. And then what else happened? Oh, I got interrupted in the morning lesson that we had, and I had to leave. I kept getting gifts all day long. And I got to see them, not immediately as gifts, but pretty quickly because of the work I've been doing. But I got to sit in traffic and just have moments to meditate. Oh yeah, I know it. We live in a resort town and it's really hard to find parking spots here. And when you do, you got to pay a meter. And I was going to run in real quick and buy something and not pay the meter. And along comes the meter person. And I said, I'll pay. anyway, I'm reminded every day, I'm given an opportunity almost every minute. It's all about how I perceive the world. Where is it coming from? Am I coming from the truth of the vision that I've been given as a gift? Or am I just looking at what's coming out of these eyes and tapping into old ways of being? So that's what this lesson means to me, and I really want to hear what you have to say about it. How this lesson comes in for you, what it does for you, what it challenges you to do, whatever you want to say. Looks like Alice wants to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah, no, a couple things. When you were the initial meditation was yeah, they were all the good reminders, the things that, I can see peace instead of this and singing, singing, I think singing different songs is a really lovely difference between like, you got to look at this differently, but it's like, because it's what I'm saying, what I'm bitching, moaning, and complaining about, versus what I could see it differently. So I love that. And I had a dental extraction last week on Thursday, and the doctor hummed and chanted because it was just like a local pull one tooth, but it had been a root canal, blah blah blah. So it wasn't the easiest. And that doctor, who I have been to him before, and I like him, and I think he's really like focused and um and a good doc. But he was humming and singing, um almost lullaby like. It was affirmative, like you're okay, I'm okay. I don't know what he was saying, but it was but I had that experience of this medical practitioner singing his way through this little bit of an uncomfortable procedure, a minor, I mean, I can't totally. So, but I heard it, I felt it, I questioned it, but then I was like, this is good. Do you know what I mean? And this is lovely. So I think that, and then I read something this morning about you can't worry and chant at the same time, um, which reminded me that someone told me um, about like whatever, dealing with difficult people or people that you have heartbreaks about. It's like you can't love them and worry about them at the same time either. You know, you can love them or you can fuss about them, but they're two different places, and they don't coexist, which helped me a lot in some of my struggles. So um, I'm glad to be here. Glad to, like, this is my second time in this group. So um, thank you, Sandy.
Cindy,
Thank you, Sandra. It's really good to be here. My eyes keep being drawn to this line in this lesson that says, remember, though, that active searching for relevant thoughts is not appropriate for today's exercises. Try merely to step back and let the thoughts come. And I've been sitting and watching this sense of efforting on the path, trying to figure out what's best or what we should do versus stepping back and seeing what is done and how you know, both negative and positive. I am in this present moment allowing this pointing that we talked about that really lit up for me yesterday from the guides, similar to this idea of not turning my back on what's going on in the world. You know, the guides keep talking about if your brothers are hungry, feed them, you know, if your neighbor knocks on the door in trouble, help them. And how that they were even more forceful yesterday, you know, like, and what I was listening to this morning, being here now. God is my strength, vision is his gift. I'm really consciously willing to let go of whatever it is that is here that I'm using to block my vision or block the vision. Hope that's I could recognize that there's a whole bunch of conditioning here that is limiting the ability to know what service means in the way it's being looked at right now. God is my strength, vision is his gift. If I truly, truly, truly knew that with every cell of my being, you know, in what way could I be of greater service? / how would I be having more fun today? It almost feels like the same thing. And the eyes have just started to pulse and I can feel tears in my eyes. So I know that this is sinking in very deeply, very moved by this idea that there is a divine loving way to watch the news. You know, I'm not doing it to heal, like to be with the news, to be with the world, not in a way to heal Cindy, but to be in a way of serving. Like, you know, how often have I said, I don't want to look at that because it's too painful? The news, yay, and even picking up the phone. Watch, Alice, you might not know this, but when I say the next thing, Richard's going to laugh. He might even start laughing before I say it. See, you know, when I feel like there's something here that wants to call my daughter Emma to see how her car is and how she's doing. See, did I tell you he was going to start laughing? There's fear that arises over that, right? And if God is my strength, vision is his gift, then that fear would have no place to land. So I'm really recognizing that fear is hiding in all sorts of interesting places within the Cindy experience. And there's just such a yearning desire to drop the judgment, to drop this sense of limitation, to drop this feeling somehow that fear is protecting me. Because that's really, every time I look at it, there's something here that says, I can't stop being worried about my children. Like, what would they be like if I stopped? Like, and this is not, and you've been around me enough, so I'm not consciously worrying about them anymore, but it feels like it's just sitting in my lower belly. So every time I release the top layer, a new batch comes up, you know? But when I was listening to this and I'm really looking at the fact that I don't have to force this healing, I just have to be willing to be present and allow it to happen. And be willing to notice when something here is shutting a door to something that's happening in the moment, and to do my damnedest, you know, to be willing to keep the door open. So that makes sense. I'm being very moved by all of this right now.
Yes, it does make sense. And it's so personal how we process, each of us process all of this. What really has struck me, I mean, even just reading the phrases about how I have invented the world I see, there is another way to see the world. I can see peace instead of this. God is in everything. I mean, just reading these through, just reinforced for me is that I think it's cause and effect are opposite. I'm causing, not I think, always think the cause is out there and then I have the effect. It's the opposite. I am the cause and then I see the effect, and my perception is based upon what I think, what I've been thinking, what I've been doing. And it's just so, I don't know how to tell anybody this, but all of a sudden it becomes so easy to see it. For me, that's how it's happened. Easy to see, oh, look what I'm causing now. I'm causing fear. I'm causing, and then when I realize that I'm the one that's doing it, and I know that there is strength beyond the personality, the small self, it flips the switch. It just flips the switch. And it can be the smallest little thing, Cindy. It doesn't have to be like the state of the world. It could be I'm running out of paper in my, yesterday I was running out of paper in my printer. And I thought, oh, I've been using too much paper. And right away I went, there's plenty of paper in the world. What do you mean you're using too much paper? You can go, yeah, I mean, it's just the whole idea that there's lack came right away. And then I could flip the switch and say, there is no lack, there is plenty. There is no lack. And the children.
Yeah. I was just going to add that for me lately, it's those little subtle things that have the biggest impact in my vibration and my energy space. When I catch things like, beating myself up for running out of paper, using too much paper, and I'm willing to sit and release that sense of lack, the transformation is so much larger for me than dealing with the big things. It's the little things that are making the bigger shift in the way I'm doing life. Yeah.
Yes.
It's even dancing. Like I've started to, when my neighbor's music gets too loud, it used to create suffering here. Now I just start dancing to it.
Yeah. Yes. And there's something called start with a low hanging fruit. Have any of you heard that phrase? It's a business concept in total quality management. It's like, do the easy, don't start with, what about Adolf Hitler? No, you don't start with that. Because that's what the mind wants to do, to stop you in your tracks. Start with, why am I responding to the traffic this way? And I don't know, I don't have to anymore. I am larger than I think. There is more goodness in me than I ever thought. I have the strength of the universe in me. Rana.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is wonderful to be here. I am very much enjoying this gathering, and I'm grateful for the time, which is perception between two thoughts, to do this and be with you and sink in. And I too, I love the run through of the lessons at the beginning. There's just something that helps me slow down for a moment and sink into really what's real, instead of the doing and the coming and going and arising and falling, and just to be. I'm so grateful for the Marianne Williamson quote at the beginning, because every time that quote has been mentioned, I have not read that book, and people only mention the first two sentences. We are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. And I've been like, and now I see the complete thought. Who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. And bang, that was just such a great reminder to know that the truth is true. I am, I am. And the sentence that really struck me was the gift of vision is not precognition or clairvoyance. It is right-mindedness looking upon the world. I must ask outside my little self is the way I see that, and accept a greater wisdom. I could say it like I must turn inward and ask to see the greater wisdom. And for the past few days, the thought that's been arising when judgment is seen is, please correct this thought. That's never really appealed to me yet, but for whatever reason, that phrase is very helpful right now. And I've been, it's not necessarily that I'm looking outside of me to the Holy Spirit, which, is just another great symbol, a really great bridge thought. It kind of like in that process, it's like, I don't know if that makes any sense. It's like, oh, please correct this thought. And then there's that realization, oh, this is just in me and available. Like I was sent here fully equipped to handle anything that occurs, right? Everything is part of a perfect flow of events in a perfect universe. Whatever is occurring is perfect. Now, if a judgment arises about that, I can look at it and let it go. And I was doing some reading this morning in NTI Romans, and this is the writing that came, and I think it's just completely appropriate. As I was reading, I was sort of just taking a note or two as I was going through for pointers today. And then I come here and listen to all of this. But this was written before. Be willing to see the world as only thought. Thought is not real. There is no blame. It makes what I see seem real. Who I think I am is only an expression of thought. Judgment is the tool of illusion. Be willing to think with God. Be willing to see time isn't true. Be willing to let it all go. Everything is a thought. And there's great power in that realization because I am not my thoughts. I can be aware of these thoughts. I can question these thoughts. I can keep the ones that lead to truth. Like when in the lesson we were asked to fill in the blank with whatever arises. There were a couple of things that came up that I had not heard inside before. I have understanding and I have clarity. It seemed a little like, ooh, can you claim that? Right? There was that little bit of, Sure enough, yes, I can claim that too. So I love this book. I love this hour. I love that everything's in perfect flow. I was in a meeting of recovery earlier and it was like all about what we're talking about right now, even though it was like not the same place. It's all just flowing together. And I appreciate that. And it's making the movement as life comes through me more joyful. I get the opportunity for the gifties that come.
Yes.
Oh, am I feeling disturbed? Oh, what a gift. Let me look at it for a second and let it go or keep it. I don't know. Go ahead and hang on to it, baby. Suffer, bitch, suffer. It's okay if you want to for 2 minutes. I don't want to anymore. I don't find that appealing that much anymore. I'm so grateful to want right-minded thinking. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Rana. What I thought of while you were speaking was about what is this vision that we say we have? What is it? And to me, I mean, I actually thought this is how embedded I was in the insanity of the world. I actually thought when I first started doing the course that I would physically see things differently, like people would have a halo around them or something, or there would be an aura. And it's interesting because now the vision that we all have access to me, is just an understanding of the truth. And when I allow that understanding to permeate the thought process and everything, then I do see differently. When I see someone angry, I see that as a call for love. Instead of seeing it, oh, look at that horrible, angry person. Why are they doing this? I see somebody needs love. And that's a different kind of vision. It actually changes perception, coming from the place of the truth of being. What was ugly before is no longer, I mean, when I say it's no longer ugly, what I mean is it's all accepted, like you were just saying, Rana. It's all accepted. And I realized, I mean, even my daughter lost a diamond ring from my mother, and when she came to me and was all upset, honestly, right away could see that's just a rock. We could pick up any rock and label that as the most beautiful thing on earth. They're just rocks. That's the different vision. Why we just happen to have decided as a society to place value on this particular rock because it's shiny. She goes, oh, I go, yeah, doesn't matter what rock you have on your finger. You can have any rock. And there's a different vision. So I need to hear from more of you. Who wants to chime in?
I choose Josephine. I want to hear from Josephine.
You might have to help her unmute.
Okay, am I unmuted?
Yes.
Good. I was sort of meditating, quietly taking in everything that you all say, which is so beautiful, and thinking, how would I react if I every day functioned as God is my strength, that it is not I who am reacting and doing and planning, but always having in mind, like the previous lesson, I am holy and God is within me wherever I go. And then the other learning of I am God. I mean, it all comes together in my mind, and then I meditate on it, and hoping and maybe planning and maybe actually functioning during my day with those thoughts in mind. So all of that is in my mind when I listen to you all, and I listen deeply. And that's why most of the time I'm just quiet. I'm just taking it in, and I'm very grateful for it.
Do you find that your life is different because of it? Is there a quality of life that's different?
No, no. Moments.
Moment.
That if when I remember, like when I relate to situations, like my sister-in-law is very ill, and there are certain things that I want to react to. And when I have to react, I bring myself into a higher mind, a higher self. So there are those moments in life. But other than that, I feel that I behave as I just have behaved, with non-consciousness of my higher self. So it's a question. That's why these meetings with you are so important. It brings me to the other level, but it's sporadic.
Thank you, Josephine.
Thank you.
Cindy?
First, I'm inspired. Most, if not everyone here, has my phone number, and there is an invitation whenever one believes that they're about to react in a way that's not loving. Go ahead and text me first. Just take the pause and send a text. There's quite a few people here that know the power of that. So I just wanted to put that out as I was listening to Josephine. And I also know from my teachings that the sporadic, every moment that we remember God carries so much more weight than our thinking mind. Our thinking mind is going to fight for our right to be small up until the moment it's no longer. So I see the shift, even if nobody else does. While I was listening to Josephine, I knew it was for me, Josephine's share. I was brought right back to the channeling from the guides that I was listening to that was given the same day as the one we were listening to yesterday. And they were pointing again to this idea of, are you willing to step up, and just basically recognize that we are all God, right? And they're really looking at this idea of, are you going to feed your brother? Like, are you going to say yes to the idea that we're all one? And so when the opportunity presents to be of service, will you say yes and not turn your back? It's watching the news, it's feeding your brother, it's being really present. It's literally not. And then what they said, and this is, I'm going to have to go back and listen in case the exact words are important. But this is why it's so key to what we're talking about here and why I wanted to say it out loud. If the energy comes up that I don't have the strength, or I can't because I am just this little being, they said, no, 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 don't you understand? In God, as God, with God. We didn't say that you have strength outside of it. The question is, will you? Not can you, because you can. The question is, will you? Are you willing? Are you willing to be of service when your brother appears to be suffering? Are you willing to see God in everyone and everything? Are you willing to say yes to that? Because you are God. Everything is in God, as God, with God, of God. So are you willing? And I felt it, while I was listening this morning and in this meeting, and I'm so grateful to say it out loud. There's something here that says, I can't. I'm an almost 63-year-old female whose car only works half the time, who has, minimal money in the bank, who, walks with the bunnies, but And then I realized that every time I'm doing that, I'm identifying with the fear, right? I really do walk with the bunnies every morning. There's so many bunnies, Rick. And I caught one by surprise this morning. It blew me away. I don't know. I'm just more light. Like literally, I was right on this bunny this morning before it realized it was supposed to run away. It ran right in front of me. I caught it by surprise. But the question was, will you, not can you, right? And that was extraordinary for me as I got it. You know, the moment I say I can't, I don't, that's the moment where I recognize I'm believing in separation. I'm believing I'm something other than that which created me. And yet even as I say it, which is the other thing that's coming up for me today, is I admit that there's something here that doesn't want to let go of being small. You know,
Yeah, Marianne Williamson quote. That's what frightens us the most, that we're powerful beyond measure.
I don't know if you can see it, but behind me on the wall, if you see the frame,
Yes.
that's the entire prayer. The Marianne Williamson, it's right there on my wall. The whole friggin'
Well,
what?
it's really interesting that you bring up that whole concept in this time that we're dealing with in our country. And I was sitting there looking at Rick from Toronto. I was planning a trip to the Canadian Rockies. And one of my friends told me, you better not go to Canada. They hate us now. And I said, well, I'm going. But it's just how pervasive this divisiveness is in our environment now. And I just want to tell you, because I know you like this book too, Cindy, David Hawkins' Daily Reader, read July 19th when you get a chance. Read July 19th.
Could we read it out loud now,
Oh.
please?
Okay.
Thanks.
The events of the world trigger responses based on perceptions. Okay, the events of the world trigger responses based on perceptions. It is a great theater that invites expressions of perceptions, illusions, and projections of positionalities. Positionalities, you know, I'm for this, against that, and all that. One can either turn off the television and avoid it, or see it as a major teaching tool, which is what you were saying, Rana. And I don't know how long ago he wrote this, but it was way before any of this was happening in the world.
Well, he died in 2012. So
Oh, really? Okay. So Rick, do you want to join the conversation? I see
Sure.
smile.
Thank you.
do
Everyone,
you hate
Rick
us,
here.
Rick? Do you hate us?
Do it, not at all. I think a lot, well, for myself, I don't watch that type of TV, the news. Yeah, when I let that stuff in, I get a little crazy. Um, no, I don't think there's any hatred. I mean, Canadians, obviously, there's this thing with Americans, but that's been there for a long time. You know, I think it's people scaling things. But no, I love I love the people, love your country. The readings today and this whole idea of um, God being in my mind, and um, something was said the other day here, which was about music and how we wake up to music, or you get this song in your head and you can't get rid of it. And I'm one of those people that wake up with music in my head. And until I heard that interpretation, that this thing that we are, or that is here communicating not only to us, but through us, communicates that way. And it just shifted things. Because, you know, one of my very first song that I related to as a child, and this says a lot about me, was Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. And I bought that record at Gerrard Square for, I don't know, might have been 20 cents, 40 cents. And I listened to it all the time. Like it was my song. it it's it blocked out the world and it gave me something tangible to hold on to. And the next one was Diana Ross and the Supremes. I think it was Mahogany. But I couldn't stop playing it. So music has always been a channel for me. But I didn't know that. I always knew that it was good for me, good for me, good for the eye. And it just has always, it has always given me hope. But I didn't realize that because I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in any of this stuff, and I believed everything was circumstantial or it was working against me more so than for me. But I see it differently, you know, and I love the reading today. I think I'm at 158 for my reading, and you know, every single day that I get up and I get to practice this throughout the day. Oh my God, I've never thought about God so much. I mean, this Course in Miracles constantly has me thinking about this thing, and I'm going, this is bizarre. From zero to this is quite a trajectory. So it's interesting. It's interesting to be present, to be looking at things through a different filter, but also seeing the driven and how there is something that has been driving me, whether you call it lower power, higher power. There's always been a power that has, I'm going to say, given life to this body because really that's what it is. I am the power source of this body. But you see, because of catastrophizing, it always seemed to be going against me. And now I'm realizing that, you know, being that source, being that spark plug, it changes. It changes. It changes not only how I see the thoughts coming through, which they're always there, and there's always a voice that has always been within me. I just always took it as a negative, but there's always, and so I'm learning to use the guidance of that today, and I loved listening to. I think you call them the guides from yesterday at 3. Those are great. They speak to me. They speak to me deeply, and even though it had nothing to do with me, they speak to me. But anyways, good to be here, and it's good to see a lot of you. I resonate with you all, and there's just something here, which is what 12 of us, so 12-way prayer that kind of brings it all together, and just kind of it just allows whatever this is to communicate to me. I mean, I sit in silence a lot with you guys, but yeah, I resonate so much with what gets said. Thanks.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you so much for sharing with us. It's wonderful to see you and to hear your voice. Truly is. Libby, I see you hitting hearts, but I don't hear from you. Are you still there? She's as addicted to the heart button as I am.
Yes, I am as addicted you are. It's just such a wonderful expression. No, I've been listening and just really soaking in, and just the thing that stuck out the most, I guess, is just the reminder that God is in my mind. You know, I've really been making a point of asking for, like, I'm going to help my niece move this weekend, and I needed someone to drive me to Charleston because I'm going to be driving a truck back. And so I just said, who would you like me to ask? Who do you think I should ask? You know, and I am doing that with, just everything now. And so, yeah, and it's just it really, really brings me into being in the now. And that's really a wonderful place to be, especially when I'm with my cats. And, just being reminded of that. And I love the music. Yeah. So, but yeah, thank you so much for this. Thanks for saying my name. And yes, I am addicted to the heart thing. I sure do love all y'all. Really glad to be with you this morning.
Rana?
Okay. So first of all, Sandra, you have been teaching me about extending love. And during this conversation, what came to me very strong was one can extend love without physically touching them. So am I willing to be of service in this harmonious relationship that is being created between myself and my mother? I believe that to be true. And so can I extend love without thinking that there has to be a hug or something, right? Can I just start there? So thank you for that. The second thing is for my friend Josie, I can really relate to what you said about the times in between our gatherings. And so it's my desire to experience God consciousness every moment that I possibly can. But in this world, that's not seeming what happens, but it's getting better. And what I've discovered is that in this world, the schedule has been created for this one, that there are like at least 2, sometimes 3 opportunities for this one to gather somewhere to remind myself. So that way there's only like 3 hours in between coming back to remember again and then going back with it. I go to a gathering here, or I listen to the guides, or I do these things, and it's just so the moments in between are shorter. I only have to go without God for 3 hours, which is a lie, you know what I mean? But it's just these constant reminders. And then the last thing is the melody. My grandmother used to whistle, and I find myself, I have a tune that I whistle as I'm walking around that brings so much comfort to me. And it's like 10 notes. And I've even whistled it into Google, right, to see if it recognizes what the song is. And it doesn't. And I just know that it's the melody. And that word's been coming up like 3 days in a row now. And and now the hair is standing on my, but it's so cool.
You're gonna
'Cause I've
whistle it
always been
for
like,
us? You're gonna
all right, I'll
whistle it?
try. Yep, I gotta close my eyes because you're not looking at me.
Oh, we can't hear it.
You can't? Oh, can you hear me
Yeah.
Mhm.
talking? Okay.
Yeah.
Still can't hear it.
Darn.
Interesting.
That is-
didn't hear
I
it.
don't know what to do.
Well, let me tell you this. I didn't hear it, but I felt it. I felt it. I
So
felt
it's something. I don't know what it is, but it's
felt your love.
something.
Yeah, I felt your love.
It's like, you know, and it's only 10 notes. And sometimes I'll make up more, but it's really not part of those 10 notes. So
So
thank
the
you.
vibration that we keep talking, I mean, it's a real thing. You can
Yeah.
feel it walking into a room. Nobody has to say anything. You can feel the vibrational level in that room. And you know if there's something wrong. I do. And it's just, we don't see it. We might not even hear it. We might not, but it's there always. Libby, just saw your hand again.
Yeah, I just was going to say, I'm so glad you said that, Sandy, because when she leaned in and closed her eyes, she was feeling whatever the melody was. And I'm so glad you said that, because that is exactly what just happened. That's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So as we go about today, let's remember. That's all it is, remember. I mean, you can tie a string around your finger. I'm old enough to remember that. But what's helped me with the vision is to remind myself to see everything as brand new. Everything, because our brain and I guess our retina tricks us into thinking we already know what that looks like. But if we wipe the slate clean and see everything as brand new, each moment is brand new. I mean, I love doing this with my husband. To make myself see him as brand new is to see him differently in the moment. And it's just it feels magical, but it's really miraculous. I'm done. Are you done?
Let me hit the stop.